The lives of the victims remain at the scene, reminding people of what happened to her. The ghost of Elizabeth and her baby. In 1908, a hotel was built on the foundations of an old mine, and was owned by a person named George Winfield, who worked as a mine manager and then built with his wealth this hotel. And George took advantage of his wealth and social standing, the worst exploitation, where he was in a relationship with a prostitute named Elizabeth, and to worst her luck Elizabeth became pregnant from him. At first George tried to lure her with money to bring down the fetus, but she refused, and for fear of scandal in front of the society that was conservative and admits those acts, George had to kidnap her and hide her in room 109 of his hotel, where he chained her to the fireplace shaft, where he fed her bread and water only, until she died giving birth to her child. And it is said that George was the one who killed her, and then took the child and threw it in the basement under the hotel. And with the death of the mother and her child, the hotel became haunted by their ghosts, and the hotel became abandoned until it was used as a barracks for soldiers in the Second World War. And now became a shrine. Many visitors claim to have heard voices of rightness coming from room 109 where Elizabeth died, as well as the fire from the fireplace that was tied to his side, as well as the sounds of a crying child screaming in the basement where her child was thrown. And some of them saw her ghost walking in the hotel corridor with her long hair down on her condensation, asking where my child is. And everyone who walks into the hotel feels cold and uncomfortable. Ghost of Sammy Dean. The place where she worked was the city of Jerome, Arizona, and lined with shops as well as brothels. She moved to the city of the beautiful girl Sammy Dean, coming from Dallas after she divorced from her husband, and failed to work in a factory there. And soon Sammy became famous and impressed people with her beauty and her sweet voice and her dancing prowess, and became a lot of fans who spend their nights then. And she has a lot of money and her hand to ask for her hand many lovers. But she refused to marry, and on the 10th of July 1931 Sammy's body was found lying on the floor in her room with bruises scattered all over her body and traces of strangulation visible on her neck, and she found her bag empty of money. And after the police investigation, the case was recorded against an unknown, and the police announced that the murder was carried out for the motive of the robbery, where Sammy is known to have a lot of money, although her body was sent for burial in her hometown is in Dallas. But many residents of the neighborhood reported seeing her ghost roaming the streets where she lived. Ghost Lily at the Franklin Hotel. Franklin Hotel is built in a Victorian style, and its building dates it back in 1850, and in the Strawberry area of Iowa. The hotel is famous for its supernatural phenomena, where he told the hotel guests about their feelings of discomfort and extreme cold, has heard the sounds of singing from room 7 of the hotel where she was staying night and smelling its perfume, and has told some guests about the movement of mirrors that were adorned in front of them. In addition to knocking doors and strange sounds, Malik Hotel. Doug claimed to have seen a night ghost walking down the aisle leading to room 7, where she disappeared and vanished into the wall, and stated that Lily was staying in room 7 of the hotel, and that she was working as a prostitute until she died in mysterious circumstances. Rosie's ghost at the Silver Queen Hotel. This hotel is located in Virginia, an American city between Denver and San Francisco, where in the 19th century was an industrial city and is now better off than before. The hotel is very old and dates back to the 18th century. The city residents claim that the hotel is haunted by the ghost of Rosie, the prostitute girl who committed suicide in room 11 of the hotel, and there have been several incidents for visitors in the hotel, some of whom spoke of the sounds of whispers heard in around the hotel hall. Some of them talked about doors that open and close on their own, as footprints were seen in the hotel balconies, and these phenomena increase with the early hours of dawn, where things are thrown off the shelves of the hotel. The ghost of Julia Lowell at Cooper Queen's Palace. The city of Bisbee is located in southern Arizona and is a quiet city that is not disturbed except to talk about the Cooper Queen Hotel, which was a Victorian mansion restored in 1902 and converted into a hotel of the same name, and also carries an old curse. In 1920, the prostitute Julia Lowell dissolved in the hotel as the last guest, where she committed suicide after a customer betrayed her after she loved it from the depths of her heart, but it was of a class and did not accept it for being prostitute and from a poor class. And since that incident and the hotel is witnessing strange phenomena, especially on the 3rd and 4th floor, where there is room Julia, the doors are closed to visitors from outside and are locked inside, as they feel a click on their shoulders and feel that someone is standing behind them. Ghost of Ollie's Pub in Mississippi. On George Street in Jackson, Mississippi, Ollie's Bar is filled with customers, and when they leave, the ghost of a woman moving chairs and turning tables lights up and turns off the lights of herself, as the bar staff talked about hearing the voice of a woman talking from the bar phone. All these phenomena are said to be caused by the fact that they found a dead prostitute in that bar in 1970, and she is now angry and looking for revenge. The woman with the severed head in Glenn's Bar. Glen Bar is located in Santa Paula, California. In 1910, the bar was at the height of its fame. It is large and attached rooms to the residence, where it was visited by famous art and cinema, but also famous for the presence of ghost activity in it, where I was told to watch the ghost of a girl with golden hair braids, and also watched the ghost of a child playing in the bar. While the rooms numbers 218, 306, and 307 guests complained that the doors closed on them. But what's most frightening about this bar is the ghost of a woman who was found murdered with her head cut off and crammed into room 307. The ghost of the lady in red. At the beginning of the 20th century, during the gold fever in the mines in Nevada, the Mizpah Hotel, which means the watchtower was one of the largest buildings in the area, and its visitors were celebrities, including prostitute Evelyn Mae Johnson, named Rose, and in 1914 she was attacked by her jealous lover when she was accompanied by someone else, where he chased her to her room number 504 and strangled her and left her dead the hotel. And since then, time sees strange events, and her ghost wearing a red coat appears in her room and also appears in the elevator, as if he were repeating the scene of her pursuit and the sounds of her screams filling the corridor leading to her room.